guys, in today's video I'm going to be sharing my top 5 sunscreens by La Roche Posay. Why La Roche Posay? Well, a variety of reasons for focusing on this brand. First of all, you can find La Roche Posay sunscreens in many countries throughout the world, so I have a few here, not only from the United States but also from throughout Europe, the UK, and Canada. The other reason I love La Roche Posay is because they are under L'Oreal, and therefore they have a long-standing track record of research and development in sunscreen filters. They pioneered and developed one of the greatest filters for blocking out UVA, and that is Mexoryl. It was very innovative when they released this, and you will only find Mexoryl in L'Oreal sunscreens. They also make sunscreens with a variety of other fantastic chemical filters to give you really broad spectrum stable protection against not only UVA, that aging, collagen destroying, melanoma yielding ray, but also UVB, the burning rays that damage the DNA in our skin cells and set us up for other types of skin cancer as well as melanoma. And when it comes to the chemical sunscreens, in the US at least, the filters that we have here are pretty limited. And so it's challenging for sunscreen manufacturers to come up with good products. But the only chemical filter that we have here to block UVA, those rays that destroy the deeper layers of our skin, the only chemical filter that's really allowed and that you'll find, I guess I should say, in sunscreens here is avobenzone. And unfortunately, avobenzone, without other UVA filters around it, it degrades on exposure to sun, and therefore you lose some protection with it. But L'Oreal, they stabilize their avobenzone, so it's more reliable. And other chemical sunscreens by L'Oreal, and you know, there's some other brands out there as well, Neutrogena. Anyways, I digress. But L'Oreal, I know, does a phenomenal job stabilizing that avobenzone, so I have more confidence in their chemical sunscreens than others. All right, first up is a sunscreen that I've got to tell you guys is fantastic. It is the La Roche Posay Anthelios Ultralight Invisible Fluid SPF 50. This is available in the UK, I believe. And it has fantastic filters, you guys. It has Uvinol T150 for UVB. It has octyl salicylate for UVB, but it's got bimetrizinol, aka Tinosor, which will block UVA1, UVA2, and UVB. It also has avobenzone, and it has Mexoryl XL, which will protect against UVB and UVA. So you may say, well, what about the avobenzone? You guys, avobenzone in the presence of Tinosorb and Mexoryl is more stable. So having these other filters in there in that formulation stabilizes the avobenzone. This sunscreen is top notch, you guys. It stands out to me not only in the combination of filters and the breadth of ultraviolet radiation protection that this product affords, but merely the aesthetics of how it goes on the skin. It's very consumer friendly. People don't hate this sunscreen. It's comfortable to wear. It's water resistant, sweat resistant. It doesn't run into the eyes. It doesn't sting. It doesn't burn. As with all of these sunscreens, this one is free of fragrance. Fantastic. You see, it's not enough to just call yourself broad spectrum. I mean, we get away with that here in the States. But when you really dial down on those ingredients, how broad, quantify it. And really getting into the stability and the spectrum of UVA filter coverage that a product has, that's really when you're getting into more sophisticated protection. Why does that matter? Well, those UVA rays, they penetrate deeply into our skin, destroy the collagen, and they also set us up for skin cancers. They impair immune surveillance. They impair skin synthesis of vitamin D, and they also lead to persistent hyperpigmentation in people with phototypes 3 and higher. I'll put on here a schematic of what the phototypes are to remind you, but people who have phototypes 3 and higher are more at risk for having skin issues that heal with hyperpigmentation. They really need sunscreens that will protect against that. And those with superior UVA protection is really what they're looking for. It's not greasy, it doesn't look shiny on the skin, it doesn't pill or ball. I mean, it sets up wonderfully. It has a bit of a matte finish without being ultra drying. It's just moisturizing enough that it's not like this greasy load on your face, and it stays in place and does not sting or burn around the eyes. Sensitive skin friendly, super acne friendly, should not break anybody out, although again, as I've always said before, I can never predict that 100%. Something out there, water on somebody's skin might break them out. Honestly, hard water has been associated with acne, but anyways, I digress. All right, the next La Roche Posay sunscreen, I adore it. It is the AntiShine SPF 50. Amazing UV filters. It has avobenzone, which is stabilized by the presence of bimetrizanol and Mexoryl in this product. So, I mean, as far as UVA, you have got a solid package here, you guys. You've got a solid package. This is gonna get you a really extensive and more stable coverage than just avobenzone hanging out there by itself. It's also got great filters for UVB. It has a nice matte finish to it, but it's not excessively drying. I'll just show you guys really quick how it goes on the skin. So I throw the lid over. With both this sunscreen and the invisible fluid, there's no cast, you guys. There's no cast. That's perfect though for phototypes 3 and higher. You know, a lot of the compliance with sunscreen, it becomes compromised if the sunscreen leaves a white cast on those deeper skin tones that are more prone to hyperpigmentation, which this does not. It has a nice kind of quick dry finish to it. Again, not greasy whatsoever, but not cloyingly dry either. This product, like the ultralight fluid, I don't personally find any burning or stinging sensation when I apply this to my skin, nor do I have any issues with it around my eyes. This product also is water resistant, stays in place really well, and is not something that's going to run into your eyes or burn your eyes. Really good for those of you who work out or are active, for giving you the kind of protection you need to withstand sweat. All right, the next one I have here is one that you guys in Canada can get. And that is the Ultra Fluid Lotion SPF 50. This bad boy has Mexoryl SX and Mexoryl XL, which basically I'm telling you, really good for UVA 1 and UVA 2 protection, those aging, raging rays that annihilate your collagen. Fantastic. I'm just shaking it up here. These liquid vehicles, you do want to shake the bottle for a few seconds to get a good mix up, because there will be a little bit of settling. Anyways, it's got avobenzone, which again is going to be stabilized by that Mexoryl. It's got homosalate for UVB, octocrylene. This one is a little bit of a stinger, I will give you that, but to me it's like, lay it on me. But if you got super sensitive skin, this may cause some redness for you, and it definitely has the potential to cause irritation in the eyes. This is water resistant though. Now this one, you guys, there's a little on my nose here. I'll put it on my forehead. This one has a little bit more of a shininess to it, a little bit more of a greasiness to it. It kind of can impart, and you may be thinking that I'm just grabbing here, but I'm being honest with you guys. It can kind of impart a little bit of a luminosity to your skin. If your skin is oily, then you might not care for that little bit of extra shine with this, but definitely give it a try. Personally, I think that a little bit of oiliness to this particular vehicle kind of gives the skin a nice little bit of luminosity. I mean, this is to me, this is kind of the irony. People will be just fixated on trying out different facial oils that the skincare market throws at them, but then an oily sunscreen is somehow not like what anybody wants. Like, what is that? What is this? Like, recommend an oil, but I don't want an oily sunscreen. Oils really just provide a little bit of emollient effect to smooth down rough skin cells, kind of give the skin a glow. If you are naturally oily, you may not care for adding glow to glow. It may be a bit too much and you not care for that. But I mean, I find it ironic. People are always on the hunt for the next greatest oil, but then when a sunscreen is too oily, somehow is a no-go. Yeah, give that one a try, you guys. In Canada, it is phenomenal. Outside of the La Roche Posay spectrum, I will give a shout out though, for those of you in Canada, to the Garnier Ombrelle sunscreens. Again, Garnier is under the umbrella of L'Oreal. Those have Mexoryl. Look for the little Canadian dermatology seal of approval. Yeah, I find in the Canadian skincare market, if you look for that little Canadian Dermatologic Society seal of approval on the sunscreens, at least the ones from Garnier, those are pretty good. I have tried many of them and reviewed them for you guys in the past, and they all have Mexoryl in them, so give those a whirl as well for those of you in Canada. Or if you're going to Canada, a lot of you, well, I don't know that we're traveling in the current situation, but you know, in the future, if you take a trip to Canada, look out for the Garnier and La Roche Posay sunscreens there. You'll get Mexoryl. So yeah, everything that I mentioned, you can't buy here in the States because the filters, the Mexoryl, the Tinosorb, stuff is giving you really good UVA protection. Unfortunately, it's not approved for use in sunscreens in the US. So unless you go to Canada to seek out a sunscreen with Mexoryl in it, you're not gonna find it here. Believe it or not, Mexoryl is actually FDA approved, but the whole bureaucracy behind how sunscreens go through approval has made it nearly impossible for L'Oreal to introduce Mexoryl containing sunscreens into the US market. They have one, and it's like SPF 15, and it's almost never, like, it's really hard to find. Sometimes Walgreens carries it, but yeah. So what do I recommend from La Roche Posay in terms of the sunscreens here in the States? I've got two for you guys. One is a mineral sunscreen I've talked about in other videos before, but I truly adore it. And the other one is a chemical one that I often recommend to acne patients specifically. I find myself recommending it a lot. I find myself recommending both of these actually to people with acne, and I caution them that the first one, which is SPF 50, the Anthelios Sunscreen Gentle Lotion Mineral, I caution them that this is going to leave a white cast, but it has zinc and titanium dioxide, so it's a great choice for people who have pale skin, so they don't see the cast as much, and really sensitive skin. So I often find myself recommending it to those people specifically. The cast, however, is not appalling. As a matter of fact, it looks identical to the EltaMD UV Replenish sunscreen. To me, they are carbon copies of one another. Yeah, this does have a little bit of a cast, but it's not bad. I mean, I'm Fitzpatrick Phototype 3, and it's barely noticeable on my skin. So it's pretty good in that regard. And it's water resistant, very easy to tolerate around the eyes. Of all of these that I'm mentioning, this is going to be the easiest on the eyes, the easiest. It's really good for the body, and also great that it's water resistant, obviously, as are all of these, water resistant and fragrance free. So this is a good one for sweaty conditions. Just gives you a little bit more reassurance that the sunscreen is holding up on your skin in between reapplications. And as a reminder, you should try and reapply sunscreen. My rule of thumb is at least 3 times a day, because it does rub off. Even when you're indoors, because sun comes through the window. That UVA is hitting me right now. So I have a full 2 milligrams per centimeter squared on my face, neck, forehead, anything that's exposed. Yeah, but when you're outdoors, you want to reapply every 2 hours. And this is a good one. It's not sticky. It absorbs into the skin comfortably. It doesn't leave a sticky residue. So yeah, totally recommend that for those of you with sensitive skin. The other La Roche Posay sunscreen I find myself recommending a lot is the Anthelios Melt-In Sunscreen Milk. You can actually get this at Costco. It does kind of actually have a little bit of a subtle cast to it, even though it's not mineral. And by cast, I think it just kind of gives the skin a bit of a waxy look to it. This dries with a matte finish, but is also a little moisturizing. This product, For me, you guys, I swear, it does not bother my eyes at all. I put this all around my eyes and I have no stinging or burning. Many of the other La Roche Posay chemical sunscreens in the American market, I can't tolerate around my eyes. This is the only one. But some of you have commented on my Instagram that has not been the case for you. So be aware it may sting or burn around your eyes, but if, at any rate, you could at least use it on your body. And right now at Costco, you can get this for a really good deal in a 2-pack. I got it for like $27 for this, and then a little one of their clear skin, which I'm not talking about today, but yeah, that's a great package set. Anyways, I get questions from you guys all the time. Will this sunscreen break me out? I can't use any sunscreen without it causing my acne to flare. These, in my opinion, no, they're all very acne friendly in terms of the ingredient list, but remember you guys, acne is very finicky and can be flared by pretty much anything, including sunscreen. And where sunscreen, I think, gets people into trouble is that, remember, it forms a film on your skin. That's how it protects your skin. And these formulations are all water resistant, so they're pretty tenacious. So it's important to remove that at the end of the day. And the best way to do it is to use a oil to break up that film and then wash it off in the shower with whatever gentle soap you use. There's actually a small study that confirmed this, so I'm not just making this up, but that's how I do it. I use the Neutrogena oil, the Neutrogena body oil, the fragrance-free one. That's what I'm currently using. It works really well. Just a few drops, just lather it to where you have the sunscreen, and it will break up that film. That's important because I think what happens with people with acne is that they just don't get the film off, and that film starts to kind of trap some other things like dirt, oil, and whatnot, and that I think can cause irritation around the pore for people with acne and lead to flares. So make sure you're getting it off fully before you go to bed at night. But around the world, there are so many La Roche Posay sunscreens that I could actually be missing some of the best ones. But these are the best that are in my possession and that I find myself using myself personally, and then the ones here in the States that I recommend to my patients the most. So I hope this video was helpful to you guys. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.